Hello dear students, as you all know we are doing chapter number 10, wave optics. Till now we have done 5 part of the lecture series. Today we are going to do 6th part. In the last lecture we talked about intensity ratio and fringe width. Today we are going to understand the conditions for sustained interference. What is that sustained means? Sustained means stable. Okay, when the interference pattern on the screen stays for longer period of time, then we say that the interference is sustained. Interference is stable. In some books it is written permanent interference. Okay, so this is, now we are going to understand what are the conditions for obtaining sustained interference or permanent interference. Okay, let us go to the conditions one by one. First condition is the two light sources must be coherent. And what this coherent mean? Coherent means that is they emit waves of same frequency. Okay, the two light sources from which the wave is coming to interfere each other, the two light sources must be coherent. And what the coherent mean? Coherent means that if two sources emit waves of same frequency, then the sources are said to be coherent. Okay, next point is, second point is the phase difference should remain zero or constant, and this constant is with respect to time. The phase difference should remain zero or constant. In the board examination, one question is very famous, and that question is, if two candles or two bulbs, identical bulbs, and if they are glowing simultaneously from a source, okay, then what these two bulbs will produce interference? The answer is no. Actually they interfere each other, but will not be able to identify the interference pattern, because it will not be stable, because the phase difference in this case will not remain constant. And because of this, what happens? The interference happens, but we are not able to observe the interference pattern, and therefore in this case we write the answer is no. And what the reason we are going to write? The reason is the interference will happen, but will not be able to understand the pattern, because the pattern is not stable, because the phase difference keeps on changing with respect to time. Okay. Third case is the light sources, the light wave must be monochromatic. What this monochromatic means? Monochromatic means single wavelength light. Single wavelength light. Okay. Why I'm saying so? Because we know that for maxima the position was n lambda d by d, and for minima the position was 2n minus 1 lambda d by 2d. So all we can see that positions depends upon the wavelength, and if a light wave consists more than one wavelength, then what will happen? Their interference pattern will overlap each other. It may be possible that at one place the maxima of one coincides with minimum of other, and will that case will not be able to see a dark pattern. Is it clear? And that's why interference is not done with the white light. With the white light, what will happen? At the center, a white bright we are going to have. Then after, just see, lambda is least for violet. Then just after this, we'll get a violet color, a dark. Then after, we'll get a violet color. Then after violet, indigo. Then after blue. Then this way it will go with pure. But what happens where the minimum of violet is there? Maybe there is maximum of yellow color. They will not be observing the minimum of violet color. So after some distance, after small distance, what happens? All the colors overlap with each other, and we are not able to find where the maxima of one color and where is the minimum of other color. Is it clear? And that's why interference is not done with the white light. Okay. Next thing is fourth. The distance between slits should be very small. Should be very small. Which distance we are talking about? We are talking about a small d. Fringe width was given by lambda capital D by small d. As small d is smaller, beta goes larger. Beta is inversely proportional to d. If d is less, then beta is more. More broad pattern we are going to have, then it will become easy to observe. And that is why the distance, which is represented by small d, between slits should be very small. Next point, and the final point, is the intensity of interfering waves must be same, as we have done in Young's double slit experiment. In this case, what will happen when I1 is equal to I2? The I max will become 4 times the intensity of one wave, and I minimum will become 0. Okay? So we have a better contrast, because whenever a dark fringe is there, it will be completely dark, it will be perfectly dark. Whenever a bright fringe is there, it will be very bright, 4 times the intensity of one wave. So there is a better contrast, and because of this, the condition is the intensity of interfering waves must be same. Last point, this is going to be the source should be point sized. Why is it so? Because when the source is point sized, the wave which emits from the source will be of spherical wavefront, and what we have studied till here, it is only of spherical wavefronts. We have understood all the things. So till our level, we are going to have one condition, that the source should be point sized. So these are the conditions. Let me repeat once again. Two light sources must be coherent. Coherent means they must have same frequency. The phase difference should remain 0 or constant, and it is with respect to time. The light wave must be monochromatic. Monochromatic means single wavelength. Light should be there, single color. The distance, small d, between the slits should be very small. Fifth point is the intensity of interfering waves must be same, and sixth point is the source should be point sized. So these are the conditions for sustained interference. Usually in examination, you have to write 3 conditions or 4 conditions. We have written 6. Choose any 4 and you have to write in the exam. Now we are going to do we are going to solve some numericals related to interference. Okay, we are going to solve some numericals. This is the first question we are going to take. This question is very important. Let us understand what is the question. Question says in YDSE, YDSE stands for Young's double slit experiment. The intensity of light at a point on the screen where the path difference is lambda is k units. At a point where the path difference is lambda, at that point the intensity of interference pattern is k units. Find the intensity at a point where the path difference is lambda by 4, lambda by 3, lambda by 2. Okay, let us solve. What we have to find out? We have to find out what is the intensity at a point where the path difference is lambda by 4. Okay, first thing you have to understand the resultant intensity. The resultant intensity at any point is given by I net is equal to I1 plus I2 plus 2 under root I1 I2 cos phi. Since we are talking about Young's double slit experiment, so in YDSE, what happens? I1 and I2 are same. I1 is equal to I2 is equal to I. Okay? So in that case, I net will become I plus I, 2I plus 2I and I will become I only, and the root will be vanished from here, cos phi. Or we can write I net is equal to 2I1 plus cos phi. Or we can write I net is equal to 2I1 plus 2 cos square phi by 2 minus 1. I have applied the trigonometry formula. Cos 2 theta is equal to 2 cos square theta minus 1. Now 1 and 1 will be cancelled out and I net will be equal to what? 4I cos square phi by 2. This is the value of intensity of light at any place, at any point. This we have done in the last video also. That is why keeping the result in our mind saves our time. If we know this formula, actually I knew, but only for the sake of solving I did this. This much time will be saved in the board examination. We can apply this formula directly also. Now the solution begins. This formula I am going to use to solve this question. Now you have to understand one thing also. Path difference is given by, if you remember the formula, P is equal to lambda upon 2 pi into phi. From here we can write phi is equal to 2 pi by lambda into P. Now just see, when the path difference is lambda, the intensity is k unit. Put the P lambda over here, then what will happen? Phi is equal to 2 pi by lambda into lambda. Lambda and lambda will be cancelled out. Phi will be equal to what? 2 pi. Phi will be equal to 2 pi. And if you apply intensity, then intensity, if you put 2 pi over here, 2 pi upon 2, 2 and 2 will be cancelled out. Cos pi is minus 1, it will become square, it will become 1. So I net is given by 4L, which is equal to K, given in the question. From here, if we calculate the value of I, we are going to have K upon 4. Okay? So intensity of 1 is equal to what? K upon 4. This is not a formula, this is only for this question. Now we have got I is equal to K by 4. Now we have to solve for lambda by 4. So when P is equal to lambda by 4, what we get? We get phi is equal to, I am going to apply this formula, 2 pi by lambda into lambda by 4. Lambda it will be cancelled out, phi comes out to be what? Pi by 2. When we put pi by 2 over here, then I net is equal to what? I net is equal to 4i cos square phi by 2. If you put phi is equal to pi by 2 over here, then I net is equal to 4i cos square pi by 2 upon 2. It will become pi by 4. In hurry, students what they do? They'll put cos pi by 2 is equal to 0, but it is not pi by 2 only, it is cos pi by 2 upon 2, so it will become cos pi by 4. Cos pi by 4 is equal to 1 by root 2. When we do the square, it will become 1 by 2. 4i into 1 by 2, it will become what? 2i. If you put the value of I over there, then what we are going to have? I net is equal to k by 4 into 2, it will become what? K by 2. So this is the answer for the first part of the question. For the second part, you need to change from here. You have to put P is equal to lambda by 3, go accordingly. For the third part, you have to put P is equal to lambda by 2 and go accordingly. Obviously, the answer will be different. This question is very important. This question has been asked in 2012, 14, 17 and probably in 18 for different values of lambda. Here, so different values of part difference. It is lambda by 4, lambda by 3, lambda by 2. Maybe in the next year it will be asked 3 lambda by 2. Okay, so if you understand the method, this question becomes very easy for you. Okay, let us move to the second question. Okay, this is your next question. The ratio of the intensities at maxima to the minima is 25:9. Find the ratio of intensities of two waves, amplitude of two waves. This question is very easy if you know the formula, and if you don't know the formula, this question becomes very tough. This question is ideally of 2 marks in the board examination. Let us see how this question will be solved. One formula we have studied, that I max to I minimum is equal to r plus 1 whole square upon r minus 1 whole square. What is r? Where r is what? It is A1 upon A2. It is called amplitude ratio. If you know the formula, this question becomes very easy. I max to I minimum, it is given. It is 25:9. Here we have r plus 1 upon r minus 1 whole square. If you do the square root, it will become 5 upon 3. Here it will be r plus 1 upon r minus 1. If we cross multiply, 5r minus 5 will be equal to 3r plus 3. 3r will be transferred to this side, 5 that side. 5r minus 3r, it will become 2r. 5 plus 3, it will become 8. R will be equal to what? 4. So basically, R is our amplitude ratio, A1 upon A2, which is equal to 4:1. The first part is solved. The answer of, this is the second part, amplitude of two waves. It is A1 upon A2, 4 upon 1. Next question is, for the first part was intensities of two waves. Then I1 upon I2 is equal to A1 upon A2 whole square. What we are going to have? I1 upon I2 is equal to 4 upon 1 whole square. We will get 16 upon 1. So this is the value of I1 upon I2, 16 upon 1. This is the answer of the first part. So sometime ratio of width also asked. What is the width ratio? You know that I1 upon I2 is equal to W1 upon W2. So basically the ratio of width is also 16:1. Is it clear? So this is how this question is solved. It is based on the formula of intensity ratio. Okay? Let us move to the next question. Okay, the next question is, in YDSC, the width of fringe obtained is 2 mm. If the entire apparatus is immersed in water, then find the new fringe width. With this question, I want to make you understand a very important thing also. fringe width is given by lambda d by d. What is the thing which changes when the entire apparatus is immersed in water? Whether it will be d, d is what? Distance between slit and screen. It will not be changed. Small d, distance between the two slits, it is also not changing. What will change? That is the lambda. And what we know about lambda, that refractive index of a particular medium is given by speed of light in the vacuum to the speed of light in particular medium. For speed of light in the vacuum, we can write nu, frequency of the light, into wavelength in the vacuum upon frequency of the light, the wavelength in the medium. Now frequency will be cancelled out. Refractive index comes out to be wavelength in the medium to the wavelength in the vacuum to the wavelength in the medium. For water, we have mu. From here, if you calculate the value of lambda, lambda comes out to be lambda naught upon mu. Is it clear? For any medium, I am solving it for any medium, then after I will put the value of water only, put the refractive index of water. Beta in any medium will be equal to, just see, beta will be equal to now lambda in a medium, capital D upon small d. This is lambda in the medium, this is lambda in the medium, this is lambda in the medium. Okay, so lambda in the medium is equal to what? Lambda in the vacuum upon refractive index. Let us put away, we'll have lambda in the vacuum, because here we have taken as in the vacuum as lambda naught. So lambda in the vacuum to the d upon mu into small d. This lambda d by d was already equal to beta in the vacuum. Here, now it is in the medium, so beta dash will be equal to what? Beta upon mu. You have to understand this thing. Okay? You have to understand this formula, that whenever the entire apparatus is immersed in water, what happens? That the new fringe width will be 1 upon mu times the original fringe width. Now this question becomes very easy. Beta dash is equal to what? Beta dash is equal to beta upon mu. The value of beta is what? 2 ml. The value of mu for water is 4 by 3. It will become beta dash is equal to 6 by 4. It will become 3 by 2. Or beta dash is equal to 1.5 mm obviously. So this will be your answer. Okay. So here that this topic interference, from my side it is done. Okay. From your side, solve some numericals. If you have any doubt, let me know. We'll discuss that. Solve NCERT questions related to interference. Tomorrow, when I put the next video, I'll start diffraction. Moreover, today also notes could not be provided, but tomorrow links will be updated in the description of the part 5 also, of the part 6 also, means today also. Okay, this is all for today. Hope you all are good. Thank you.